President Obama wrapping up the third night of the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia with an impassioned speech endorsing Hillary Clinton and touching on a number of themes that we've already seen at the Democratic National Convention, bringing people together, talking about the greatness that America already has, and hammering away at Donald Trump, which is not something we have typically seen a sitting president do. It's been a big day for Arizona at the Democratic National Convention as well. Earlier today, we saw freshman Congressman Irvin delivering an impassioned speech hammering Donald Trump on veterans issues, and of course former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, who we saw there tonight in the audience, once again talking about gun control and the scourge of gun violence in our country. The prominence of Arizona at the DNC certainly raises the specter that Democrats pay lip service to, that idea that at least perhaps Arizona could go from a red state to a blue state. Certainly, Democrats are hoping that that will happen because of a couple of factors: Donald Trump and his popularity in the Republican Party and the fracturing that we've seen in Arizona. Of course, we remember the Republican National Convention last week where Senators Flake and McCain both skipping out, and only one Arizona congressman as a Republican actually making an appearance there. There is a concern among Republicans that many of the GOP won't show up because they can't support Donald Trump, and they certainly won't support Hillary Clinton as well. And of course, the other big factor is the number of Latino voters, expected to reach somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 million eligible Latino voters this year, who may, at least may, be able to turn Arizona from a red state to a blue state. Nonetheless, when you talk to a lot of the national experts, they still, looking at the tracking polls and looking at Arizona as a whole, still put that one in the column for Donald Trump. But this is an election year like we have not seen, and we all remember 20 years ago, it was the last time that a Democrat was actually able to carry Arizona in a presidential race, and that Democrat happened to be Bill Clinton. Now, a lot coming up here on ABC15 News at 10. We're going to be tracking all of the activities at the DNC and other big stories tonight as well. Police are still on the scene of a grocery store parking lot in Scottsdale. A guy acting crazy there. He apparently led police on a chase, ran into an office area, and then eventually pulled a knife out on officers, and one officer was forced to fire. We've just learned in the last couple of hours here that man has now died, but police are still on scene investigating there. We also had another police shooting. This was a man barricaded inside a Valley apartment. Turns out he was wanted for murder in another state. FBI taking over the scene now and eventually finding that man deceased inside the home with a gunshot wound. We've also got a couple other stories following up tonight. This is a really wild one. A Valley 19-year-old living a double life, apparently blackmailing young boys. He posed as a girl on Facebook and on social media, had boys send nude pictures of themselves, and then use those to blackmail those young boys, and police believe there are still other victims out there. And if you're buying a car, think about this story as well. A woman apparently buys a car, and then that car breaks down exactly 7 miles after she drives it off the lot. The dealership won't give her a refund. They say it's from a third-party seller. Something I've never heard of. So we're taking action tonight at 10. What do you do when you're buying a car to protect yourself in case you wind up driving off the lot with a lemon? Of course, Amber is also tracking some big changes to the weather. You can feel the humidity out there and some storms popping up in the area. We're going to be talking a lot more about the forecast and what the weather is doing coming up in a Facebook Live in just a few moments. But for now, I'm Steve Irvin reporting, and you've been watching the third night of the Democratic National Convention.